Hi everyone, today I'm going to spotlight a stamp from Stampers Best called Create a Christmas Ticket. And when I first saw this on the website, it was released I think last week, I was really intrigued, but when I received it I actually went gaga for it because it comes as a single sheet and then you just trim out the individual pieces. And here's some of the pieces individually. So what I instantly thought of, these are great to customize your own little tag. You could put any of these elements that you want inside this tag. So I looked at it and it actually coordinates with the vintage holiday tags as well because they're exactly the same size and design. And there's an additional set which I will list in the description below. I'll have links to all three of the sets that are also the same size but have different interiors. These interiors are already filled in, so these are already made for you, but this one has the greatest flexibility because you can create your own. It has an adorable little music section, music notes, has season's greetings, this ice skating couple, Merry Christmas, 2012, 2011, a pair of kids on a sled, beautiful damask distressed background, this pudgy overdressed winter kid, and then the blank tag. So what I thought is I had these beautiful iridescent lavender snowflakes from Wild Orchid Crafts and some Studio G pigment ink. Very simple, you know, very affordable. Most people have pigment ink who are stampers, and I made my own tags. So what I did is I used scrap pieces of paper, not even full sheet, just scrap pieces that I've been saving, and I cut them with Tim Holtz Alterations Tiny Tabs and Tags die, right here, and it's this one right here. So I trimmed down the paper to 3.5 to 2 inches, and then just placed 3 pieces at a time upside down, because this is pattern paper on one side or texture paper on one side, upside down, and then ran it through my Vagabond, creating a whole stash of these cards, of these tags. So I'm gonna make enough tags for all the presents that I need to give this holiday season, and I'll show you how you can mass produce them. So this is what I did. I used the little chubby kid because it totally reminded me of me. Then the music notes, season's greetings, and the 2011, because they're all separate. You could place them in whichever order or configuration you want. So that's exactly what I did. So I put them on individual blocks, inked them up with the pigment ink, and you have to be very light with the pigment ink because it's a super juicy pad, because pigment typically is much juicier than other types of inks, like solvent inks. And then I stamped them, and in order to stamp them like a production line, all you have to do is line up your tags. Let me know if you grab a couple of blank tags, and this is what I do. When I'm mass producing something like this, and all this would take is just, I think I did the 3 in a matter of 4 or 5 minutes once I decided the configuration that I wanted, and then I'll have a sample in front of me, and then I'll set up on a grid pattern all of the tags that I'm going to stamp. And then because these are individual stamps rather than one stamp, I take the same stamp, like let's say, well, I started off with this little chubby guy or girl, this chubby kid, and actually that's too small a block. Let me grab the correct size block. So I've placed them on, and this is a clean stamp so I can put my finger on it, and then all I need to do is have my ink ready right here. And because I know that my sample, it's directly to the right of the hole, all I have to do is ink them up make sure that there's sufficient ink coverage. And remember, I'm doing this from behind a camera. And then just stamp away. Ink coverage. And then go on to the next stamp. So the next one I think I used is the music note, so I will line that up. And I'm looking at the back of it to make sure, because just from telling, it's not always level, so I want to make sure that it's level from the image side. So it's just there, and I'm going to ink it up. And I ink by light taps across the ink pad, especially when the image is larger than the pad, so it's not like you can make one push. And I'm going to stamp it on, and then ink it up again, and stamp it on. And you get the idea. If you line up 4 or 5 of them, depending on the work surface you're working on, this could go pretty quickly. So let me just finish these 3 up, and now I have the season's greetings, and I'm going to line that up on my little grid. Make sure that's even. Tap it across the pigment ink. Stamp. And again, these are homemade. They don't have to be pristine. If they're a little off, depending on your level of comfort, that's okay. That's what makes them homemade. So I have those, and now I'm going to grab my 2011 and also put it on a block. And then these, because the orientation slightly different. Ooh, stuck my finger in the ink. I'm just going to turn them this way and stamp the 2011. Make sure they're lined up on the grid. That's simple. And there you just made 3 more tags. And the more you have lined up, the more you'll be able to make in a little production line. And then all I'll do is glue the little snowflake, and then I'll have enough tags created for all the presents that I need to give this holiday season. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. Don't forget to stop by Stampers Best YouTube channel to see what other design team members are creating. And I will include links to all 3 of the stamp sets that just came out that coordinate with this Create a Christmas Ticket tag. And don't forget, because these are blanks, you don't just have to use these for Christmas. You can use them for other different holidays. New Year's. See, there's a 2012. Thanks so much for stopping by and watching, and stay tuned for other design team projects.